15 years at HOG rallies and dealership parking lots. The guy fumbling his ignition sequence at the gas pump paid $847 extra on fuel last year because nobody told him the truth about octane. The rider with pristine engine guards just told everyone he has never dropped his bike. There are 15 tells ahead that separate new owners from veterans. Number 1 is the nuclear option, the single behavior that changes how the entire Harley community perceives you. We start at 15. Number 15. The dead giveaway idle adjustment. Every Milwaukee 8 leaves the factory with idle set between 950 and 1050 revolutions per minute. Dealers leave it right there because adjusting idle takes billable time, and the stock setting works fine in a climate-controlled showroom. The problem shows up at your first red light in August traffic. That low idle combined with heat soak makes the engine lope and stumble. You blip the throttle nervously. Everyone at that intersection knows you just left the dealership. The fix costs nothing and takes 30 seconds. Locate the idle adjustment screw on the throttle body driver's side just below the air cleaner housing. With the engine warm and idling, turn the screw clockwise in quarter-turn increments until you hit 1,100 revolutions per minute. The bike settles into a confident, steady rhythm that does not require constant throttle attention at stops. Dealers charge between $75 and $150 for this adjustment during scheduled service. Most do not mention it exists because a nervous idle brings bikes back for unnecessary diagnostics. $150 for a quarter turn of a screwdriver you already own. I have done this adjustment on every Harley I have owned since 2009. The difference is immediate. Your right hand relaxes, it stops. The engine sounds like it belongs to someone who knows the machine, and you eliminate the single most common audio tell that separates new owners from veterans. Document your baseline RPM and the date you made the change. This modification falls well within owner serviceable adjustments and poses zero warranty risk. Number 14. The timid throttle trap. Watch any new Harley owner pull away from an intersection and you will see the same pattern. They roll on throttle like they are afraid the bike will throw them over the handlebars. The clutch slips, engine lugs at 1100 RPM, and the motorcycle waddles forward while the rider death grips the bars. This timid approach actually accelerates clutch wear. When you slip the clutch at low RPM for extended periods, you generate friction heat without forward momentum. The clutch plates glaze over time, losing their bite. I have seen clutch replacements at 18,000 miles on bikes that should have gone 40,000, and every one of those owners admitted they babied the throttle during their first year. The Milwaukee 8 makes peak torque between 3,000 and 3,800 RPM depending on your cam configuration. That torque curve means confident acceleration from 2,000 revolutions per minute protects your clutch better than slipping it at 1,100. The engine is designed to pull hard in that range. Let it work. Practice in an empty parking lot. Bring the RPM to 2,000 before releasing the clutch, then roll on smoothly through the engagement point. The bike moves forward with authority, the clutch engages cleanly without slipping, and you eliminate the lurching hesitation that tells every rider behind you that this is your first season. Your clutch will last twice as long, and your confidence will build faster than any timid approach allows. Number 13. The parking lot waddle. I can identify a new owner from 50 feet away by watching them navigate a parking lot. Both feet come off the pegs at walking speed. The bike rocks side to side with each step. Turning requires putting a foot down, pushing, repositioning, pushing again. It looks like a three-point turn in a minivan. This happens because nobody teaches foot positioning for low-speed control. The instinct is to put your feet down for stability, but that actually removes your ability to use the rear brake and shifts your center of gravity in unpredictable ways. You cannot countersteer effectively with your feet dragging. The wobble you are trying to prevent gets worse. The fix costs nothing. Keep your right foot on the rear brake during all low-speed maneuvers. This gives you instant speed modulation without grabbing front brake, which destabilizes the bike at walking pace. Keep your left foot near the shift lever, ready to downshift or plant only if you actually need to stop. Your knees grip the tank. Your core stays centered. Practice figure eights in an empty lot with your feet on the pegs the entire time. Start with wide loops and tighten them over 2 or 3 sessions. The rear brake controls your speed. Friction zone controls your power. Within a week, you will navigate parking lots with the quiet confidence that experienced riders recognize immediately. This single technique eliminates the visual tell that gets new owners excluded from serious group rides. No gear purchase required, just discipline and an empty parking lot. Number 12. Stock mirror angles. Harley-Davidson ships every motorcycle with mirrors angled for a 5'8" rider in a showroom posture that nobody actually uses. The dealership prep tech checks that both mirrors show something behind the bike and moves on. This takes 12 seconds. You ride away with mirrors pointed at your elbows and a 30-degree blind spot on each side. Veterans adjust mirrors before the first ride home. The correct angle shows a sliver of your shoulder on the inside edge and the lane behind you filling the rest of the glass. This requires tilting the mirror head outward approximately 15 degrees from stock position and angling it down slightly to account for your actual riding posture. The stock angle telegraphs inexperience because experienced riders cannot tolerate blind spots. Every lane change, every merge, every parking lot exit depends on knowing what is beside you. When you leave the mirrors at factory angles, you are announcing that you have not yet ridden in traffic where those blind spots matter. Adjustment takes under 2 minutes with the mirror loosened at the base. Sit on the bike in your normal riding position. Have someone rotate the mirror head while you confirm your shoulder appears at the inside edge. Lock it down. Test it on your first ride by confirming you can see approaching vehicles in both mirrors without turning your head. This is a $0 2-minute adjustment that every experienced rider makes instinctively. Dealers do not offer it because it is not a billable service. The difference in your lane change confidence is immediate. Number 11. The premium fuel myth. New owners read 91 octane on the fuel door and assume premium is mandatory. They pay 40 to 50 cents more per gallon for every fill-up because the dealer never explained what that number actually means. Over 15,000 miles annually at 45 miles per gallon average, that premium fuel habit costs $847 per year with zero performance benefit on a stock Milwaukee 8. The octane number measures resistance to pre-ignition, not fuel quality or energy content. Harley specifies 91 octane as the minimum for high compression engines running aggressive timing maps. Stock Milwaukee 8s run a conservative tune that pulls timing before knock occurs. On a bone stock engine with no ECU flash, 87 octane runs identically to 91 in independent dyno testing I have reviewed from 3 separate tuning shops. Dynos do not lie. A stock street glide made 92.4 horsepower on 91 octane and 92.1 horsepower on 87. The difference falls within measurement variance. Temperature, torque, and fuel economy showed no statistically significant change. The exception is tuned engines. If you have flashed your ECU or installed a performance cam, run the octane your tuner specifies. Aggressive timing maps require higher octane to prevent knock. But if your bike left the dealer with no modifications, you are paying premium prices for regular fuel performance. Save that $847 annually. Put it toward an actual upgrade that shows on the dyno, document your fuel choice and mileage to track any changes if you modify the engine later. Number 10. The pristine engine guard problem. Walk through any rally parking area, and you can sort the riders from the owners by one detail. The riders have scuffed engine guards with scratches, minor dents, and the patina of dropped bikes in gas station parking lots and gravel driveways. The owners have guards that look like they came off the showroom floor this morning. A Harley that has actually been ridden gets dropped. It happens in a parking lot when the pavement slopes unexpectedly. It happens on gravel when you misjudge the surface. It happens when you forget the kickstand and step away. Every experienced rider has a drop story, and their engine guards show it. Pristine guards announce that you either have not put real miles on the machine or you are so worried about cosmetics that you avoid situations where drops happen. Both messages work against you in a community that values road time over garage time. I am not suggesting you intentionally damage your bike. I am pointing out that strategic patina comes from actual riding. Park on real surfaces instead of babying the bike onto flat concrete every time. Take that gravel shortcut. Ride in conditions that test your skills. The engine guards exist specifically to sacrifice themselves for your primary cover and cylinder heads. When your guards pick up their first real scratch, resist the urge to immediately replace or polish them. That mark is evidence. It says you ride this motorcycle instead of just owning it. The community notices the difference. Number 9. The Derby Cover Disaster. The Derby cover on your primary holds 6 bolts. New owners assume these bolts need to be tight. They break out the ratchet, lean into it, and create a warranty claim waiting to happen. The aluminum primary cover threads strip between 18 and 22 inch-pounds of over torque. Once stripped, you're looking at a $700 primary cover replacement or a $50 helicoil repair that voids your warranty on that component. The service manual specifies Derby cover bolts at 89 to 106 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. That is roughly the force of 2 fingers on a 6-inch wrench. Most ratchets cannot even feel torque that low, which is why new owners over-tighten by default. The fix requires a $23 to $28 inch-pound torque wrench. Harbor Freight sells one that works fine for occasional use. Set it to 95 inch-pounds. Run each bolt in a star pattern and stop when the wrench clicks. The bolt feels barely snug compared to what your instincts want. That feeling of not tight enough is correct. I inspect Derby covers at every oil change. New owner bikes consistently show galled threads and deformed bolt heads from over-torque. Experienced riders know that inch-pound specifications exist throughout the motorcycle, and they own the tool to verify them. Buy the inch-pound torque wrench before your first Derby cover removal. Document your torque settings and date. This $23 tool prevents a $700 mistake and demonstrates mechanical literacy that separates you from the over-tighten-everything crowd. We are at the halfway mark, and the nuclear option is still ahead. If you have made it this far, the next 7 entries separate the serious riders from everyone else. Number 8. The Catalog Victim Kit. New owners discover the Harley-Davidson accessories catalog and immediately start ordering. Exhaust wrap on stock pipes, aftermarket heat shields for a bike that does not run hot, chrome covers for components that will never be seen, engine guard highway pegs before the first highway ride. The total hits $400 to $800 before the motorcycle sees its first oil change. These purchases broadcast inexperience because they address problems the owner has not actually experienced yet. You wrapped your exhaust because a forum post mentioned heat. You added a heat shield because the catalog copy sounded convincing. You bought highway pegs because they looked comfortable in a photograph. Experienced riders prioritize functional modifications based on actual deficiencies they have identified through seat time. The first upgrade is usually a seat, because stock seats cause discomfort around hour 2 that no amount of chrome can fix. The second is typically a windshield adjustment, because wind buffeting reveals itself on the first highway run. The third is lighting or suspension, depending on riding conditions. Before you buy anything from a catalog, put 500 miles on the stock motorcycle. Write down what actually bothers you during those rides. Rank those issues by severity. Then spend your modification budget on the top 3. This approach costs less, solves real problems, and demonstrates the methodical thinking that lifers respect. Stop decorating. Start diagnosing. The bike will tell you what it needs after you actually ride it. Number 7. The costume problem. The chain wallet and brand new leather vest combination triggers immediate side-eye at every rally. Add the dealer logo t-shirt, the pristine Harley boots with unworn soles, and the orange and black helmet that matches the accessory catalog cover. You have assembled what experienced riders call the costume. You look like the dealership dressed you. This matters because the Harley community reads gear as biography. Worn leather means road time. Scuffed boots mean actual walking at actual destinations. A plain black helmet means you care more about protection than brand coordination. A jacket without dealership branding means you chose function over advertisement. The fastest way to earn respect is to stop matching. Wear gear that works. A textile jacket with armor protects better than decorative leather. Boots from a motorcycle manufacturer beat fashion boots with Harley branding. A modular helmet from Shui or Scorpion outperforms the entry-level Harley-branded option in safety testing. Lifers notice when your gear shows evidence of use. road grime that has been cleaned but not eliminated, a jacket sleeve scuffed from a minor low side years ago, a helmet that has seen sun fade. These signals say you have been here a while. They cannot be purchased. If you already own the costume, wear it. The gear will age with you. But stop adding matching pieces. Let the miles do the talking. The community respects riders who prioritize function, and that respect opens doors to the serious runs and long-distance rides where real friendships form. Number 6. The wrong gear launch. Watch a new Milwaukee 8 owner pull away from a stop and count the seconds before the first upshift. 9 out of 10 will launch in first gear and short shift to second before 2,000 revolutions per minute because they think lugging the engine saves fuel or sounds more relaxed. The result is a lurching, hesitant departure that bogs the motor and confuses every driver behind them. The Milwaukee 8 makes peak torque between 3,000 and 3,800 revolutions per minute. First gear is geared short specifically for low-speed maneuvering and aggressive launches. If you launch in first and immediately shift to second at 1,500 RPM, you bypass the entire power band and force the engine to labor through the weakest part of its torque curve. Smooth operators launch in first, let the RPM climb to 3,000, shift to second, and let the torque carry them through traffic. The bike accelerates confidently because the engine is working where it was designed to work. No lurching, no bogging, no hesitation. Better operators learn when second gear launches work at a gentle intersection with no traffic pressure. Starting in second gear with a smooth clutch engagement can feel more refined than a first gear launch followed by an immediate shift. The key is matching your gear choice to the situation rather than defaulting to the same pattern every time. Practice both approaches in low traffic conditions. First gear launches with shifts at 3,000 revolutions per minute. Second gear starts with smooth clutch release. Your departure from every intersection will separate you from the short shifters and identify you as a rider who understands the torque curve. Number 5. Pre-ride inspection theater. The Motorcycle Safety Foundation teaches a pre-ride inspection checklist that includes checking every light, testing both brakes, examining tire pressure, inspecting the chain or belt, verifying fluid levels, and confirming the battery terminals. New owners perform this entire routine before every ride, spending 8 to 12 minutes on checks that rarely reveal problems. Experienced owners skip most of this. They have identified the 3 checks that actually prevent roadside breakdowns, and they complete them in under 30 seconds total. First, tires. A visual inspection for obvious damage plus a thumb press on each sidewall takes 5 seconds. If the tire gives more than a quarter inch under firm thumb pressure, check the actual pressure. Otherwise, ride. Second, oil window. Glance at the oil level indicator while the bike sits level. Takes 2 seconds. If you can see oil in the window, you have enough. Third, lights. Turn on the ignition, flip on the headlight, tap each turn signal once. Confirm the brake light with a press of the rear pedal. 6 seconds. These 3 checks catch 90% of the actual issues that strand riders. Low tire pressure from a slow leak, oil consumption between services, burned out bulbs that cause visibility problems. The rest of the checklist matters, but monthly frequency is sufficient for coolant level, belt tension, brake pad wear, and battery terminals. Daily theater does not make you safer, it makes you late. Document your monthly full inspection dates and ride with confidence that the quick checks catch what matters. Number 4. The dealer accessory trap. New owners walk into the parts counter and pay dealer prices for everything. A Harley branded oil filter for $22 that cross-references to a Wix filter for $8. A chrome switch housing cover for $140 that matches an aftermarket part at $53. The dealer installed floorboards for $340 that reference a catalog part at $127. The difference adds up. I tracked one new owner who spent $2,300 on dealer-installed accessories in the first year. The same components with correct cross-reference numbers would have totaled $870. That $1,430 gap bought nothing except convenience and brand labels. Every Harley part has an OEM number. That number cross-references to aftermarket equivalents through websites like J&P Cycles, Dennis Kirk, and RevZilla. The search takes 30 seconds per part. The savings average 55 to 65% on bolt-on accessories and 30 to 40% on maintenance items. Dealer labor is the second trap. Accessory installation that takes the dealer 2 hours at $145 per hour takes you 90 minutes with basic hand tools and a YouTube tutorial. The dealer charges $290. You spend 90 minutes and keep the money. Build a cross-reference spreadsheet for every part you plan to buy. Document OEM numbers, aftermarket equivalents, and price comparisons. This spreadsheet is your protection against the markup that funds dealership overhead. The parts are identical, only the invoice differs. Number 3. Group ride positioning. The first time you join a group ride, your positioning tells experienced riders whether you are a liability or an asset. New owners default to the back of the pack because it feels safer. They think following everyone else reduces their decision-making burden. In practice, back-of-pack positioning creates the most dangerous riding conditions. The accordion effect means riders at the back experience the largest speed variations. When the lead rider slows slightly, that deceleration amplifies through the pack. By the time it reaches the back, a 5 mph reduction at the front becomes a near stop at the rear. New owners target fixate on the bike ahead, brake late, and create the collision risk they were trying to avoid. Staggered formation exists for a reason. Each rider maintains a 2-second gap from the rider directly ahead and a 1-second gap from the offset rider. This creates escape routes and reaction time. New owners cluster too close, eliminate their escape routes, and force the group to slow down to compensate for their positioning errors. Earn your position by demonstrating consistency. Maintain steady spacing through curves. Hold your lane position without drifting. Communicate with hand signals that match the group protocol. Experienced road captains notice who holds formation and who creates problems. The riders who demonstrate predictable, skilled positioning get invited to the serious runs, the multi-day trips, and the rides where the group moves as a single unit. We are closing in on the nuclear option. Number 2 sets the foundation for everything Number 1 reveals. Number 2, the death grip. Grab your handlebars right now and squeeze as hard as you can. That is how most new owners ride. White knuckles, locked elbows, forearms burning after 20 minutes. By mile 40, their hands tingle. By mile 100, they are stopping every hour to shake out the arm pump. A 400-mile day feels impossible. The death grip happens because new owners treat the handlebars as their primary balance point. They hold on to stay upright. This transfers every road imperfection directly into their arms and shoulders, tensing the entire upper body into a rigid frame that fights the motorcycle instead of flowing with it. Racers use the opposite approach. They grip the tank with their knees, relax their hands to the point where fingers can wiggle freely on the grips, and let their arms act as passive linkages that simply guide direction. The lower body anchors to the motorcycle through the seat, pegs, and tank. The upper body stays loose. Practice this technique at parking lot speeds. Squeeze the tank with your knees. Let your hands rest on the grips without gripping and ride in slow circles. You will feel the bike become more stable because you are no longer fighting its natural balance. Your inputs become more precise because relaxed hands have better fine motor control than tense fists. This counterintuitive pressure technique transforms long-distance comfort. Riders who master it complete 400-mile days with energy to spare. Riders who death grip stop every 40 minutes and blame the seat, the wind, or the handlebars. The variable is not the equipment. The variable is you. Number 1, the nuclear option. This is the single most revealing behavior I have documented in 15 years of riding with Harley owners. Riders with 10,000 miles unknowingly display it. Veterans spot it within 60 seconds of meeting you. It has nothing to do with your riding skill, your gear, your bike choice, or your mechanical knowledge. You talk too much. New owners fill every silence with statements about their motorcycle, unsolicited specifications, justifications for modifications, stories about the purchase, explanations of why they chose the color, the model, the dealer. They volunteer their mileage count. They mention the upgrades they are planning. They describe trips they intend to take. Future tense, always future tense. Experienced riders talk about where they have been. They tell stories about breakdowns and solutions, about roads that surprised them, about weather that changed plans. They speak in past tense because they have done things worth discussing. And when they have nothing worth adding, they say nothing at all. The Harley community operates on demonstrated credibility. Your bike speaks for itself through its condition, its patina, and its wear patterns. Your riding speaks through your throttle control, your positioning, and your confidence in parking lots. Words that substitute for experience announce inexperience. The fix requires discipline. When someone asks about your bike, answer the question and stop. Do not volunteer additional information. Do not justify your choices. Do not describe what you plan to do. Let the miles accumulate. Let the stories develop through actual riding. Let the community learn about your experience by observing it, rather than hearing you claim it. This behavioral shift changes how lifers perceive you faster than any modification, any gear upgrade, or any technique refinement. Stop talking about riding. Go ride. The community will notice. Every item on this list points to the same truth. The Harley community reads experience through observation, not declaration. Fix these 15 tells, put miles on the machine, and let the road do the talking. Drop a comment with the mistake you recognized in your own riding. Subscribe if you want the insider knowledge dealers will never share.